today I'm going to show you how to deal with that extra vertical ease you have on your back leg in a new way. So I'm going to start by showing you something I've already shared with you. And for this method, you're going to need to trace a copy of your pattern. So you can see here, I have two back legs. They're identical. So I'm going to keep one of these so I can put the parts of the pattern back that we don't want to change after I've made the adjustment. So I'm going to put one aside. And the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to identify, where that ease starts on the back leg. And it usually starts right below crotch level where you start to get those loose wrinkles. And a lot of times they get hung up at the knee. So here's my knee level. All right, and I'll just make a note, knee. And this is crotch. This is usually the area where fabric gets trapped. All right, so this area in here, from here to here, is a problem area for a lot of people, because if you have too much vertical length between the bottom of your behind and the top of your knee, it puddles at your knee. Or if you have a prominent calf, it can puddle up on your calf. So I had shared earlier how to internally make room for a prominent calf if you're working with, snug pants or fitted jeans. This can also help you. So if you've made the room that you need, and I'm just going to drag in the example that I shared in a previous video. Okay, you can see here we made horizontal space so it's not grabbing on your knee. But let's say there's also, too much vertical length there and it looks saggy down your back leg. You can combine this adjustment with the one I'm going to show you now. And if you don't have a prominent calf, but the fabric is still getting caught at the back of your knee, I call it the crook of the knee in the back, this will also work. So what I've shown in the past, and I'm just going to go ahead and draw myself a guideline here from the waist to crotch level, is we cut through the waist and then we make hinges at the inseam and a hinge at the side seam like this. Okay, oops. All right, if you break your hinge, that happens a lot. Don't worry, don't cry, it's paper. Just put it back together like this, and just take a tiny piece of Scotch tape, stick it there, okay, and then recut it, but if you leave the plastic, it will make a stronger hinge. So you can see here, so now I've got a hinge and the Scotch tape makes it really strong. See, so that's a way to strengthen your hinges if you don't want to lose the hinge. So next I'm going to say, all right, I want to lose about an inch. That's really the max that you can lose here. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line that would represent an inch on a full-size pattern. And then what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to push down both sides until, keeping the side inseams the same. I'm just going to push down each side until it's getting rid of that inch in the center of the back leg like this. Okay. So what we're doing is we are losing the inch here, and it creates a dip here. So it also collapses the leg. So if I put the original pattern behind it, you can see that I'm losing some of the shape. I'm going to show you how to put that back in a minute. But basically, this is what I showed previously. Then it occurred to me, I was working with one of my Zoom jean fitting students, and we were working on fitting her pattern, and what occurred to me is not only can you do it from there, I'm just going to go ahead and reopen where I taped it shut. So basically I'm just reopening it here. Okay. We can also remove another inch by doing it from the hem. So I'm going to go ahead and draw like my guideline for an inch at the top. Okay, so after I close the front, I'm also going to tip the lower sections up to overlap an inch, like this. Now here I lost my hinge, but that's okay, I'll put it back. So basically now I have gotten rid of 2 inches because I got rid of an inch by pushing this side down, and I got rid of the second inch by pushing these pieces up. So that gives me twice the vertical length that I can remove. But notice I have this really distorted pattern. So essentially what I'm going to do here is I am going to line my pattern up at crotch level. So I'm making sure my crotch points match, and I'm going to make sure that it's laying on grain with the pattern underneath it. And you're going to notice a couple things here. And I'm just going to use my sew tights to hold it. Okay, so basically what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to put back all of this and all of this where the leg collapsed. So actually I can just tape that in place. Okay, because now I've got, oops, I put my leg back really easily just by putting that there. Now you'll notice down here, and it might be a little bit more noticeable on a full-size pattern, but the base of the hem does pick up a little bit. So you'll see down here, and actually I'm just going to cut it. I'm going to keep the slight curve in the hem that's created by the fact that you push these up. Don't put that back down, okay, because you don't need that vertical length. It should hang properly. All right, so you've got a slight curve in the hem, so the hem slightly curves up. And then here, I'm going to put back all of this. So all of this has to be replaced here, and all of this has to be replaced here. But I want you to look really closely at this, and I'm going to zoom in so you can see what I'm talking about, because it's a tiny pattern. I don't want to add anything here. So if there's anything hanging above the base of the crotch, and I'm just going to draw a line here. Okay, I don't want to include that, so I'm literally going to cut that off. And on a full-size pattern, it will be more significant than that little sliver. You know, it might be like 1/8 of an inch. And then the other thing is, I don't want to put back the dip that is created at the top of the pattern. So this little sliver right here is the dip created when we push down the top of the pattern. When you sew the top of this leg to either the bottom of the yoke or the waistband, it's going to pull up and straighten it out. Okay, so that's how you can get rid of 2 times the amount of vertical length on the back leg, by pushing it down here and then rotating it up here, and then use the copy of your pattern. I'm just going to color in everything I added back so you can see. So I put back everything that collapsed. Okay, I did not put back the little dip in the hem. I left that because that's where pushing up here shows. And I did not put back the dip in the waist because that's where it shows when you push it down here. But I can tell you, I've been doing a lot of experimenting with this, and going inside the pattern and removing it where you can pinch it out of your muslin is more effective than just dipping the top and bottom of your hem and waistline. So again, if you have a fit muslin, sew in a fisheye dart below your behind to see how much you need to pick up and use that as a guide to adjust your pattern piece. If you have any questions or comments about this, please post them below and I will help you. If you're enjoying my content, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel because it really helps me grow. And I want to thank everybody for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.